The last video ended a little sad, and I just want to say that the amount of sweet comments and personal messages so many of you sent was uplifting. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. So let's see how the rest of October went. Enjoy. It snowed this morning. It was pretty, but all I could think of was Tiny. It's been a somber couple of days for me. I can't get her out of my head. This is the price I pay for having such a close relationship with these wild birds, but I'd have it no other way because the experience is such a unique and wonderful one. Not many get this kind of opportunity. I'm going to indulge myself for as long as I can. Still no Tim. I don't know where he could be. I did look around. I don't know how he could make it out there on his own. I learned last night that Canada jays do in fact sometimes prey on chickadees or other smaller birds like warblers, so it could be true that Peanut or maybe one of the other gray jays preyed on Tiny. It needs to be said though that I don't know if that's the case for sure or not. I used to know a gray jay pair before for about 2 years, and I never witnessed them do that. It felt like I had a dilemma now, figure out what to do with Peanut, but as I had that thought, I realized how ridiculous it was for me to think I have to do anything other than continue my relationship with this innocent wild bird. If Peanut did that, he isn't bad for it. He's a smart jay, a survivor. Gray jays have been doing this for thousands of years. To him, a chickadee is no different than a butterfly or caterpillar. It's potential food, and it would not be fair for me to hold a petty grudge toward a wild bird for doing what it does naturally. For some reason, though, there are people who consider corvids evil birds and hate them for preying on smaller animals, and I can never understand that, even after my experience with Tiny. I choose to accept what happened and continue on. I'm not going to hate Peanut or stop being around him, but I will be more cautious for the little chickadees and nuthatches' sake. I have to be honest, out of fear of people turning on Peanut and hating him, I thought of not mentioning that Peanut may have done this to Tiny. I hope so badly that people can see my point and not change their feelings about this lovely gray jay I've been so lucky to have in my life. It's nature. Not a flake of snow today. The tamaracks are bursting with a glorious orange color now, and the ground is covered in fallen leaves. Blue and Squeakquel were a little chatty. Their sounds are super adorable. Feisty Jay came by too, which ended up ticking off Blue, who went after him. He's reminding Feisty Jay that this is his territory. I love that squeaky gate call they make. It looked to me that Feisty Jay stood his ground pretty good. He even managed to get a peanut from me after. Jays are some of the most fun and interesting birds to observe. I saw a gray jay after, but I don't think it was Peanut. This jay didn't come to me and it looked different. Its face feathers are whiter than Peanut's. Must be one of the other ones that's been here. Abby showed up after with Feisty Jay. I rarely see Hermoso with her lately. I also don't see Belle, Feisty Jay's new female, anymore. I visited Hatch and Maggie, and feeling kind of playful, I had some fun with them. Maggie followed my finger in search of food. Hatch didn't think much of the game, though. Both were given their equal share. They're so sweet and fun. On my way home, I saw Angel and Kiwi and then Peanut in the woods. I went out into the field for better lighting. Angel tried getting 2 seeds at once until her mate Mini Tim booted her off my hand. Then Kiwi booted Mini Tim. That's the pecking order. Lentil was there too, and even Blue. I love how he always follows me home. Lentil got into her mood of hiding seeds in the cuff of my coat. Silly girl. Not too long after I got home, it started to snow heavily. The weather changes quick on the island. There was a bit of snow this morning. The apple tree is still holding on to some of its green leaves, and even a couple red apples. My buddy Blue was the first one to greet me. A juvenile jay I'm familiar with seeing was here too. It has a lot of white in its facial feathers and a purple tone to its plumage. It wasn't long before Sweet Girl arrived to join Blue. To make room for a peanut, she had removed some of the seeds that was in her gular pouch. Blue ended up collecting some of them. I wonder where she got them. Snowy wasn't long finding us. The emotions kicked in, but for the most part, they just made sounds and never got into any fights. I love how close they all try to get to me, especially Snowy and Webster. They seem to be determined to win rights over me from Blue and Sweet Girl. Angel's bad foot doesn't seem to slow her down. It's uplifting to see animals beating the odds that are against them. Lentil didn't hide seeds on me today. I guess she wasn't in the mood. Hermoso came by, but was quickly dominated by Blue. Those silly old jays. I made sure to get some peanuts and seeds to Hatch and Maggie. I do this every year during the first few snowfalls. I noticed a squirrel nearby eating some snow. I guess that's kind of a plus with winter. A ready source of water is usually nearby. It was hard not to notice how pretty the golden tamaracks look surrounded by snow. While admiring them, I noticed a female moose foraging just down the hill. Webster was close to home today. Snowy was busy, but all it took was one whistle to get her to come to me. And then just like that, gone again. A lot of the leaves have fallen. It's looking pretty bare nowadays. I noticed that the cones on a beautiful fir tree were oozing with tree sap. I see birds eating this stuff sometimes, such as nuthatches, or maybe they are eating insects attracted by the sap. Most of the apples have fallen to the ground. I've always found they look so pretty like this. Over the coming weeks, the moose and some other animals will eat them. Snowy got a little chatty at one point. Many people don't realize that blue jays make very soft sounds. In fact, those sounds are the ones they use the most. After having her say, Snowy tended to her feathers while her mate, Webster, scoured the ground in search of food. After no luck finding anything, he went to preen his feathers too. When Sweet Girl showed up eager for food, though, Snowy stopped what she was doing to go after her. Ugh, Snowy, she's such a brute. I wish she'd leave my girl alone. Blue showed up shortly after. Snowy's attempts to dominate him were futile. All she did was aggravate him. Lentil, Angel, and Minnie Tim came by too, but not Kiwi. But just a little ways in, I found him. Just about all of the jays were here now too. Even Peanut showed up. Blue got a little upset and went after Webster. I don't blame him. Those jays are such fun. Well, it's the second last day of October. Won't be long before the snow stays, but I'm going to enjoy this last bit of autumn beauty as much as I can. It rained a lot yesterday. There were large pools of water everywhere. The first of my gang that I saw was Snowy and Webster. That's typical though, my route starts pretty much at their territory. I got a nice close-up of Snowy. She even made a little sound. Being able to see her eyes is so cool because normally you can't really see their eyes that well. I also saw Squawky, a male jay I've known for a few years, at the apple tree. Hadn't seen him in a while. I mentioned him a few times in Life of a Blue Jay Family video. I saw Sweet Girl soon after, but never saw Blue until I got up to Hatch's old territory, which Kiwi and Lentil were totally intruding on. They're lucky Hatch and Maggie haven't fully claimed the spot yet. Hermoso was here too, sweet, beautiful little guy. In the woods, I saw Peanut hopping around on the ground looking for something to eat. Eventually, he found what looked like a worm. He made quick work of that. I went further in to visit Hatch and Maggie. When I found them, I laid some seeds down on a falling tree, but a couple squirrels came. To keep them from taking Hatch and Maggie's food, I put some down on the ground to keep them busy. With a nice trickle of water flowing on the forest floor, the birds could get a quick, easy drink. On my way home, my buddy Blue followed. He tried collecting some seeds when the crows started alarm calling, causing Blue to bail. He quickly returned, though. It was my buds Ernie and Bert. I put some food down on the ground. I rarely get to see them. There were a couple of gray jays here as well. Wasn't Peanut, though. It's the other two that's here. Kiwi, Lentil, Angel, and Mini Tim weren't long spotting me. These nice still days make it enjoyable feeding those little angels. At one point, it almost seemed like Kiwi was playing King of the Castle when he saw Lentil perching on the very top limb. So much cuteness. Sweet Girl was reunited with Blue again. They both started to preen their feathers. I've noticed that birds seem to copy each other. If one is preening, usually the others around will too, especially mated pairs. Interestingly, just moments after, Blue had a bath. Didn't seem to make sense to me for him to do all of that preening only to have to do it all over again after bathing. Maybe there's a method to his madness. Lentil and Kiwi made it very difficult to get home. They kept following me. I know them well. If I let them, they'll follow me almost the whole way. Sweet little birds. October was spectacularly beautiful this year, which from what I read may be because of the cold spring and hot summer we had that helped ready the leaves for a stunning autumn display. I lost two little buddies though, Tawny and Tim. I missed them, but I also gained a new buddy, Peanut. So maybe I should embrace this while also remembering my favorite little chickadee pair I was lucky to know for as long as I did. Although I will miss the beauty of autumn, I am ready to go into November with open arms, embracing the bare trees, the colder weather, and the snow. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Before you go, I want to let you know that I have my shop up and running again. Some of the older pictures are still available, but many more new ones. So check it out and see if there is anything you like. The link will be down below. Happy birding!